Hey guys, do you need a website as soon as possible? Or maybe your website needs a little bit of a facelift? If you don't have the budget for a full-on custom design, listen up. The Styled Square creates fully customizable Squarespace website templates that are so easy to use and maintain your beautiful aesthetic, but more importantly, their websites are built for seamless user experience that will lead to conversion, also known as making money. Who doesn't love that?
Think of the templates as your website building blueprint. Grab a coffee and make the template your own. Just change the fonts, colors, and imagery, and boom, a beautiful and functional website at a fraction of the price. Isn't that just the best? To learn more about the Styled Square website templates, head to thestyledsquare.com and use our exclusive promo code CheckYourAesthetic15 to save 15%. Goodbye, website struggle bus. Hello, Styled Square. Are you a creative professional or small business owner looking for a refresh in your existing brand? Graphic design is more than just the right font choice. Having eye-catching and meaningful brand assets adds value and purpose to your business. Kylie from Kylie Buss Design works with you to create a cohesive brand identity system to build brand recognition and hold longevity.
Kylie specializes in graphic design and brand identity systems for makers, achievers, and doers. With a variety of packages available to suit your needs, you are sure to walk away with the tools and assets needed to bring your brand to the next level. To inquire about your project, reach out to Kylie on Instagram at Kylie Buss Design or email her at design@kyliebuss.com.
Hey guys, I'm Katie.
And I'm Alexis, and this is the Check Your Aesthetic podcast.
We had technical difficulties.
We did.
I just feel like you guys have to know that like not an episode goes by that we don't have technical difficulties.
Yeah, genuinely.
It's just a part of our journey. Also, for everybody watching on YouTube, you can see the battery in my headphones. One of my family members, I love them with my whole heart, and thank you for moving me, but one of them stepped on my headphones when they were moving me, and the cap popped off. So that's why I'd been using AirPods, but they were causing us like just oodles of difficulty. So now I'm wearing these.
Yeah, the AirPods have been a point of contention for a few weeks. Yeah, and then finally they were like, nope.
We almost ended the podcast. We almost broke up as friends. Just kidding. Yes. But anyway, me and Alexis were just talking about how it's impossible to look cute with these on. Like you just can't. Yeah, look cute.
I mean, I just like never look cute. I either have to go like full on with the headphones. I was like,
excuse me.
I either have to like go full on like gamer girl. I feel like if I have like gamer girl outfits on, then like it's okay as a vibe. But like right now, it's just like very clashing. So.
We get like Fortnite hoodies that we start wearing when we record. Oh my god!
And the like cat ears.
No way. Oh, I hate it so much. Okay, we can't go another minute. Guys, Alexis is engaged. Oh my gosh.
Let me see. I don't have any nails on, so I look like I literally have like a baby hand, but yeah.
It's so gorgeous. Okay, just take it away. Tell them the whole thing. Everybody has been asking her to talk about it, so we're here to give you the content that you need.
Okay, so I have been with Austin for 8 years. So we met when we were 14, the first day of high school. And then we started dating sophomore year when we were 16. And yeah, like I've kind of known for like a very long time that we were going to be getting engaged and getting married and everything. But I really had no idea like when. We had talked about like when we would be getting married, but like the step before that, I didn't really know when that was going to be. And so... yeah, I did pick out this ring, but it wasn't like, hey, let's get engaged in like a month and like here's the ring that I want you to do it with. So, because I was like pretty obvious, like I had sent him like a good amount of rings.
Also, and then like I feel like when you're dating for that long, like everybody who like has dated somebody long term knows like you talk about marriage if it's a healthy relationship.
Yeah,
so like
exactly.
It's not like you talk about it getting engaged for a decent amount of time before you do it, and you just like know when you're at the point where you don't want to get an ugly ass ring, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to give him some help. You got to help him out a little bit.
Right. And so I had shown him like a good amount of rings, and then, but it was more like a style. And then I found this one, which I can tell you guys later about like why this ring, because like there is like a specific reason. But I remember sending it to him in like all caps and was like, this is the one, like I want this one. But anyway, so like how it happened was Austin, so actually ironically, Katie and I FaceTimed like not very like far before like, or like too long before I actually got engaged.
Yeah, it was because we were talking about getting sushi for dinner, and y'all will hear later that there is a, and you were like, I might go get sushi for dinner, and I had no idea. I thought, like, I told Austin like 1,000 times, I was like, tell me, because I thought that I was gonna try to like scoot on up to Vermont. Yeah. But like, so I was like, tell me, and he didn't. And also, like, he didn't tell anybody.
He didn't tell anybody. Yeah, he didn't tell anybody.
Which, like, it's not like me and Austin are, like, best buds, but, like, we have texted before. But, anyway, so I, like, thought I would at least know more. Like, I thought that I was just as surprised as Alexis was, anyway.
Yeah. So, Katie and I had, like, so Austin's parents, we go to get ice cream, like, all the time. And so, Katie and I had actually just recorded for the podcast. And then I was just, like, I was deciding, like, whether I was going to edit the podcast or I was going to do some homework. And I was just, like, on my computer. And then Austin got home from work. And then, like, shortly after that, his parents texted and were, like, or his mom texted and was like, hey, do you want to go get ice cream? And we hadn't seen his parents for, like, a little while. So Austin's, like, so sneaky. He was like, do you think did you see my mom's text? And I was like, oh yeah, I did. And he's like, oh yeah, I feel like we should go. We haven't seen them in a while. And I was like, that's fine. I was like, I was gonna do homework, but like I can do it when we get back. Didn't end up happening. And then so we went there and we got ice cream, and then we went back to his parents' house, and everything was just like so normal, and they were such good liars. I had like genuinely just no even like.
You were sending me the pictures. They have, like, Pomeranians, and Alexis always sends me pictures of them, because Pomeranians are just funny looking. So she was, like, sending me pictures of them, and, like, literally, like, hours before.
Yeah, I had absolutely, like, I could not have been, like, less aware of what was going on. And then, so, while we were at his parents' house, my best friend Carly and then Austin's sister-in-law were back at our apartment setting up, like, 17 vases.
Yeah, and he had, like, planned out how the door was going to be unlocked, like, without you noticing, and, like, all this stuff.
Yeah, and he had planned, like, that the ring was, like, on top of the shelf, and Carly had to go get the ring box and put it on our, like, shoe shelf, like, on our, like, shoe rack, so that, like, when he walked in, he could just, like, grab the ring, but it was in the dark, so I didn't even notice. Like,
I feel like men, literally, I'm like, how can they do this? They, like, I always feel like men can't get, like, organized things, but, like, he really pulled it together.
He said that, like, because I'm such a planner, I literally plan everything in my entire life, and he never plans anything, and he said that, like, this was one of, like, 5 things in his whole life that he's planned, and he put, like, everything into it, like, he really did think of, like, everything. Like, he even, when we were leaving, because he had to leave the door unlocked. So he told me that we were walking out, and then I was, like, walking to the door to go down the stairs, and he's like, oh, I forgot, I want to bring my water bottle. And so he went back to the door and opened the door, and then apparently he left the door unlocked, because I always check to make sure that the door is locked, but he purposefully, like, lied and said that, like, never would have guessed it. And also, like, because we had been recording, I had, like, a cuter outfit on, and then I changed. When he walked home, he's like, oh, you look cute today. I was like, oh, thanks. And then I changed into a freaking sleep shirt and, like, a baseball hat, and he's like, oh, you changed, and I was like, yeah, we're just getting ice cream with your parents, like, and it's hot outside, why do I need to, like, and he was like, no, like, you look fine, and, like, I think he didn't want to, like, because it would have been really odd, if he had been like, I think you should wear something cute, then, like, I would have 1,000% known, because he never comments on, like, outfits or anything like that, so, like, I just had to wear what I was wearing, that was, like, it's an unfortunate, like, aspect of it, but really not. Like, I really don't care that I'm wearing, like, a sleep shirt. But anyways, so, yeah, he had my best friend Carly and his sister-in-law setting up 17 vases of yellow daisies, like Gilmore Girls. And then he had sushi ready for, like, on a plate, and then chocolate-covered strawberries, and, like, a charcuterie board, and there were candles everywhere. And so
sweet.
Yeah, so then we walked in, and, like, it was, like, completely normal. He said that his arms were, like, numb driving home.
He's,
and,
like shaking.
Yeah, but he was, like, singing and dancing, like, in the car, I think, just to, like, make sure that he wasn't acting, like, off. So then, but he said that he was completely numb, like, driving home.
Oh my God.
But then as soon as he got to the door, that he was, like, all of his nerves were fine, because he realized, like, how much I didn't know what was going on, and that, like, and everything after that would be, like, fine. And so I walked in, and, because we have Winston, I always look down when the door opens, because I'm always, like, afraid he's gonna jump out, or, like, he's, like, greeting us and whatever. So I looked down, and then I saw, like, off to the side a candle, but I didn't know what it was, so I just saw, like, a light, and I was like, the apartment's on fire. Like, that was my first thought.
Oh my God.
And then I saw, because the candle was right next to the flowers, and then I saw a glimpse of yellow flowers, and I was like, oh my God. And then, like, I just was, like, so shocked and confused.
In the video, you uploaded a reel / TikTok on both.
Yes.
And you're saying, y'all are like, what? Yeah. You can hardly hear it because you put sound over it.
Yeah, I put sound over it because I said the F word a few times. But
oh my God.
But yeah, so I was just, like, completely so shocked. And yeah, and then my first thought was, like, Austin, like, I'm so stupid. In my head, I'm like, Austin's parents are going to be so surprised. Like, like, they didn't, like, help with this whole thing. And then, so I was walking through, and I just saw the flower, so I thought that was it. And then I walked in, and then I saw Carly, and I saw her recording, and that was when I was like, oh my God, he put, like, so much effort into this. And then I turned around in the video, you can see, like, I turn around and, like, cover my face, and then Carly, like, accidentally stopped the recording, which honestly I'm fine with, because I didn't really want a recording of, like, the more, like, intimate moments. Like, we're pretty private, so I'm honestly fine with it. That I would rather have a picture of him, like, on one knee than, like, a video of what he said. But then, so I, like, turned around and was, like, just, like, in shock, and then I turned back around, and I noticed that he had my favorite sushi, and, like, all the stuff, and I was just, like, oh my God, he really put, like, so much effort into this. And I was, like, just freaking out, basically, and I couldn't even form, like, real words or, like, sentences. But I guess I completely blacked out, so, like, I don't really remember a lot of this. But then he had to literally physically turn me around and hold my shoulders and be like, hey, I'm trying to do something here, because I was like, oh my God, sushi, and, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was not, like, paying attention.
May I please
like,
propose?
Can I please propose to you? And so then I was standing there, and I was like, oh, yeah. And then he, like, said whatever he said, and then, like, got down on one knee, and apparently I was just like, oh my God, and I wasn't saying yes. So then he had to be like, are you gonna say yes? And then I was like, yeah. And then I just took the ring out of the box. And then I was holding it. And I was just like, you're supposed to put this on me, aren't you? And then I handed it to him and was like that. And then he put it on me. And yeah. It was.
Aww.
Yeah. It was so honestly.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was honestly, like, it was just, like, a complete shock. And I think, like, he said that if I were to be surprised, there was no way that I was going to be able to, like, have my nails done, like, be in a cute dress, like, be in a cute location, like,
yeah, because it's also, like, y'all don't, like, go out to dinner or something, like, a lot.
No.
Like, y'all just, like, y'all very much hang out in your apartment, which is why, like, it made so much sense to me that he would do it, and y'all are private. Like, that made so much sense. Like, everything about it made sense for y'all, like, as a couple.
Yes.
But I don't, like, it's not like if y'all were the kind of people who like went out to get dinner every Friday or something and like dressed up, then like it would be easy, but you would have known.
There was just no way I would have known.
And you were just, I mean, you were aware enough of the time period that you were gonna be engaged that like it's not like you were like, it's not like you walked in and you were like, what's happening? Like you knew once there were clues that like that's what was happening.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so then I guess I'll tell you guys about the ring. So yeah, if you saw on Instagram, I do have a blue ring. It is a Swiss blue topaz. But the reasoning behind that was just that my grandma was like the most important. It's just so dark in here, I just realized. But my grandma was like the most important person to me in my entire life. She and I were extremely close. Yeah. And she passed away when I was in 4th grade, but her sister passed away when she was 30. And her sister was like very important in her life. And so growing up, my grandma had her ring, which not her engagement ring, but a ring that she wore all the time, and it was a blue ring. We actually don't know what the stone is called, but it was a blue ring, and it was a halo. It had like diamonds around it. It's much too big for, like, my hands are very small, so like it is way too big for me. I would look insane. But yeah, I always loved that ring. And then from the time I was like a kid, I always thought like I would prefer like a colored engagement ring than a diamond, just because I'm like a pretty colorful person, I feel like. And I don't know, I like that it's like unique, and that like most likely no one else is I'm not gonna like be walking down the street and be like, oh, did you get that ring at this place? Like we have the same ring. Like I never wanted anything like that. But I had been thinking of like an emerald or something. Like I wasn't solid on like having a blue ring. And then I was thinking about it one day, and I'm like, because I was trying to decide on what I wanted, and I realized, oh, the reason why I want a colored ring is because of, like, my great aunt's ring. And so then that was when I decided, okay, I want blue. And then I told my aunt that I had decided on blue, and she was like, you should really look at topaz. And I was like, because I only knew of one specific shade of topaz, and I was like, no, it's not really for me. And she was like, no, there's a bunch of different shades. Like, go online and you can see the different, like, tones of them. And I was like, okay. So I found this website, and it was just, like, topazes. It was, like, all the different shades, but it didn't have it didn't have, like, the names written. And I was looking through, and I was like, oh, my God, that one's so beautiful. Like, I really love that color. And then I clicked on the color, and it was Swiss blue topaz, which my grandma was born and raised in Switzerland. And I was just like, yep, that's a sign. Like, it's almost like my grandma was like telling me, yep, that's the one. So then I decided on that color and that stone, and I always wanted a halo, and I wanted a thin band, and so that's the reasoning. And I feel like my grandma was like almost helped me like pick out my ring, and
that is so sweet.
In like our own way. But yeah, I'm very happy. And then I haven't officially asked, but Katie's gonna be a bridesmaid, so you guys will eventually see wedding content with both Katie and I. So
I can't say what I was about to say. Never mind, take it back. But what I have, my updates are that I I finished Outer Banks. Alexis is like, I'm engaged. And I'm like, I finished Outer Banks. There's literally nothing for me to say. But speaking of signs, me and Alexis have been seeing a lot of signs recently, and I don't want to like get too into it because like whatever, but like we've been seeing a lot of angel numbers surrounding the podcast. And just, like, our general businesses and everything, just, like, that make us feel really good. We've been seeing, like, 444 everywhere with the podcast.
Yes, and then tell them about the thing that you sent me today.
Oh, okay. So, we've been seeing 444, and I'll read the description of what... And, like, this is all kind of, like, take it or leave it. Like, some people don't agree or, like, believe in this kind of stuff.
And totally fine if you don't.
Yeah. But we just thought it was, like...
It's, like, cool.
Yeah.
To think about.
So, 444... from the source that I have, it says, angel number 444 is a sign that the best things in our lives will happen in their own divine time. Continue pushing forward and you'll eventually receive the results you desire. You're on the right track even if you don't realize it yet. And I think that just like rings really true for us because like, I mean, obviously with any business venture, like it's hard to give it time, but like you kind of have to.
Yep.
But then I saw this thing on Pinterest, and this is it if you're watching on YouTube. It says 4:44 is the time, and it just is a background on somebody's phone that says you're exactly where you need to be. But the date that this screenshot was taken is Alexis's birthday.
Yeah.
So, and
Katie sent me that, and I was like, that's my birthday.
Yeah, and this just came up on
heck?
Pinterest, like, right after we had seen, because Alexis had seen 444 I had seen it on Instagram, and you had seen it in our downloads. And yeah, so we were at like 4,444 followers on Instagram the other day, I believe.
Yep.
Something around there. And then Alexis saw it in our downloads. But I don't know. It's take it or leave it. And I'm sure some of you listening are like, that's BS. But like, I don't know. It's just like kind of a sign that like we're doing the right thing. And I think we like have been like really trying to give you guys
into the podcast.
Yeah. And we've been trying to like really give you guys valuable content. And the response to Jenny's episode has been amazing.
Was so good.
And so we're just really happy that you guys are enjoying it, and we're just feeling good. So anyway, we've spent 20 minutes talking about important things, but the reason that you guys are here, today we are going to share the biggest mistakes that we and you guys have made in your businesses. So we did a submission episode. We have some of your submissions to read. We're not going to read your names because we don't want to out you for your mistakes. But then we'll be sharing ours at the end. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and start with a voice memo. I'm still not going to say the name, but this girl submitted via voice memo, so I'm going to play it for you guys now.
Love it.
I'm just, buckle up. I'm going to play it for you now. Stay tuned. Okay, anyway.
My favorite mistake that I ever made, which was last December, I put out these holiday boxes that were like advent calendars. So you would open like a new little envelope every day, and it would have like between 3 and 5 little stickers in it. So every box contained like 100 plus stickers. And I really like underestimated myself because I was making all my stickers by hand at the time with my silhouette. And so pretty much every holiday box went out late. A lot of them went out in the middle of the month. This poor girl ordered one who lived in Australia and didn't get it until the following year. So that was a gigantic mistake that took probably like 50 hours of work, and it did not go well, and it was a huge mistake. I'm going to start with my favorite.
Play it again. Okay, there's much to discuss here. First of all, I feel like, because both of us have been in the sticker business, one of my biggest mistakes is literally ever printing my own stickers. I think that like getting a Cricut and making your own stuff makes a lot of sense if either one, you have like hardly any sales and like you just kind of have it lying around, or if two, you're completely full-time, but like it's just like once you get to a certain amount, it becomes undoable. And also like the amount of supplies you have to purchase to make good quality stickers on a Cricut, I think is just like you may as well outsource at that point.
Yeah, I think like if you because I follow like Catnip, I don't know if like studios, I don't know if you know who that is, but she has like multiple employees. Yeah. And like they use Cricuts, and I think that that's perfectly like that makes sense because like she has time to make like designs for stickers, to like run her Instagram and like run her business, and then she has employees that like make the stickers. I think that that makes a lot of sense, but I totally agree that like Cricut and like silhouettes and whatever, and like just making your own stickers, it takes so much time, and it's such a pain, and like, and then you have to like, sometimes things don't work right away, and then like you have to redo them, and like
and like sometimes if it messes up the cutting, you've just wasted supplies. Like I think those are things you have to take into account, because like I think it's awesome to make like label stickers of your logo or something. Like it's so cheap to do something like that, but once you get to a certain level, the cost of like Sticker Mule or whatever is very much, or like Sticker App, like it's just
and you also have to think of like, because I totally agree with you. I've gotten multiple DMs being like, should I use like a website or should I make them myself? And it's really a personal choice, because I never ordered any. Yeah. But like I'm glad that I didn't, but I also wish I had, in a way. Like that's like that's a horrible piece of advice, but like I feel like if I had I'm glad that I did, and I kept doing it because it kind of, like, paid for the Cricut.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I bought the Cricut because of sticker stuff. Now that I'm not doing stickers, honestly, I'm glad because I'm going to have it for my wedding. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be able to do, like, a bunch of stuff on the Cricut. And, like, when I have, like, kids and stuff, I can, I'm glad that I have a Cricut.
Exactly.
But I think that, like, when you are starting out, I think if you already have a Cricut,
yes,
then do that. But that is such a big expense to, like,
and
just drop on something you don't know.
I feel like this is, like, probably one of the hardest things for, like, if you want to start a business, because so if you're going to start a business that just, like, incorporates stickers, but that's not your main thing, I would say definitely don't buy a Cricut. But if you, like, really want stickers to be a big part of your business, I think the things that you have to weigh are one time. So, like, I was at one point getting so many orders that, like, I literally spent every waking hour cutting stickers, and I couldn't do the other parts of my business. So, like, we're going to talk more about outsourcing later, but this is just another form of outsourcing. It's, like, you have to, and I think it's hard to, like, as a small business owner, price your time because, like, your time is free.
Right.
But it's not really, So, like,
right.
And I've talked to a lot of other people who used to make their stickers and now outsource. And I think, like, of course, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, well, I use a Cricut. Like, it's not to say that a Cricut isn't great. Like, I just think you have to, like, I never even considered because I thought, oh, of course it's cheaper to make it yourself. Oh, of course it's, like, more handmade or whatever. But, like, sometimes, especially if you have a job and you're running your business on the side, you need to spend that time doing things that are going to get
something. Just if this isn't like your
because for me the Cricut worked until I went back to school when it just didn't. I didn't have time. I literally didn't have time.
And the thing is like I can totally understand the mentality of like, well, the Cricut is cheaper, so why wouldn't I do the cheaper thing? Like, whatever, I can just spend more time on it. And like, what else am I going to be doing? Well, you could use that time that you would be spending hours and hours working on the Cricut on marketing, on making TikToks, reels, like,
to sell more
rebranding,
stickers,
making more sticker designs,
and
like, all those things. That is kind of, in a way, money,
In my experience, whenever I tried a lot of different things, sold a lot of different kinds of stickers, like, with different, like, laminates and things, and the one that I landed on cost probably more than it did to order from Sticker Mule or something. Because, like, of course, and you also, do have to...
when you're ordering from Sticker Mule, if something's wrong, they will send you, like, a refund or, like, send you more stickers or whatever. If you mess up, too bad.
Exactly. And, like, you do have to order in bulk, but, like, to make them, like, cheaper. But, like, I don't know. There's also a ton of discounts. Anyway, I don't know. That's just my professional opinion.
It's really a personal thing, and, like, it's very situational, I think.
Yeah, and, like, that's just from my experience. So, like, take it with a grain of salt, but... that is my advice. Okay. Alexis, do you want to go ahead and read the next biggest mistake?
Okay, so this girl said, that wasn't a word. My biggest mistake in my business, not saying no to people. Same. It has been a wild time learning to say no and refer people elsewhere when they ask for something I don't do. I get a lot of questions about tattoo designs, paintings of architecture, like, or branding projects. I like helping and trying new things, but more often than not, it truly ends up not being a good fit. I also obviously like the pay, but if the work isn't at least kind of fun, it really weighs down on my week. I had to learn to thank people for the opportunity and then offer to them to find another artist. I wish I'd known it was okay to say no like 5 years ago.
Yeah, and I think this is really important because, like, not only are you saying no for your own personal gain, but, like, if a project
for them too.
Yeah, if a project doesn't match your skill set, like, their ways, not that you couldn't do it, because I was this way too. Like, I think at the beginning you get so excited, you say yes to everybody, and like then you like are like, oh well, I need the money to reinvest, because when you're starting out a business, like, you really are not making a lot of money. No. You're reinvesting a lot of it. And so for me, I was like, if they want me to do it, like, they came to me for a reason. But I think part of being a good designer is being able to say, like, I'm just not the best match for this project. That's like, I used to do portraits, which I was literally shit at. I was shit at them. They were so bad. That's not my thing. My thing has never been really, like, I don't draw, I letter. And, like, do, like, I just, So, like,
And it also doesn't even have to be, like, your skill set. Like, it also could just be, like, do you like it? Yes or no?
Exactly.
Because you're usually going to, like, do better if you like it.
Yeah, and even, like, the type of project. Like, say you do web design and graphic design, but you love web design more. Saying no to some graphic clients so you can take on more web clients, like, that's totally fine, too.
Yeah. Or just taking on, like, bigger web clients.
Exactly.
Just, like, a bunch of small stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like saying no is something I'm so bad at in every single facet of my life. Like, I feel like it's not just business, but I feel like that's such a hard thing to learn because, especially when money is involved, I think you can just get caught up in that really easily.
Yeah, it's so hard to not. And especially, like, when you're first starting out, you also want to, like, build a portfolio.
Yeah.
So not only are you saying no to money, you're also saying no to, like, an opportunity to, like, show that you've done work.
Exactly. And I think sometimes, like, it takes time to figure out, like, what you really like, because you're going to have to accept some things you don't like to realize, like, I don't like this. But, yeah, definitely do not feel bad about saying no. And there's, like, a lot of different, I always Google things, but there's just a lot of resources on, like, nice ways to turn down clients.
Say no.
Like,
I think the best way is to refer them to someone, and you don't even have to, like, immediately refer them to someone. You can say, like, I've said before, like, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm very flattered that you like my work or whatever, but, like, I think that, we wouldn't be a good fit for, like, X reason. If you would like, I can send you some people that I know that would be good for this.
And you can also say, like, if you don't, and they'll never know, you could just say, I'm full of for projects right now, you know? Like,
yes.
But I always think honesty is the best policy, but I know sometimes it's just hard, especially if they don't come to you with the most kindness.
Yes, if they're kind, then you can give it to them straight. If they're not and pushy, then just lie.
Yeah. We are only here to give you the absolute best advice, and we're very morally conscious.
Lie.
Anyway, okay. So the next person said, biggest mistake. A year ago, I started selling sorority stickers for a short period of time and had to stop real quick. To sell sorority stickers, you need to have a license. You need to be a licensed vendor, and you have to pay some fees, royalties, and have a good business insurance, which seems obvious looking back, but I didn't really think of it then. Now, a year later, I'm licensed and can sell my sorority stickers. So long story short, educate yourself before you start selling things like Disney stuff, Greek life things, etc.
I'm so glad that she said that. Like,
I know.
I think a large part of Etsy really is copywritten stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so this is like celebrities, movies, like anything. Yeah. Like,
yeah, that isn't public.
Lyrics.
Yeah, anything that isn't public domain.
Yeah.
I had so many people ask me to sell my prints of like movie characters and Disney princesses and like so like, you know, public figures and whatever, and I was like, I'm sorry, I can't.
And I certainly made this mistake. I used to sell sorority stickers. I used to sell Harry Styles stickers, like all of that stuff, which that wasn't allowed. But I don't anymore, so, you know, and I think that's something else that, like, is important just to mention in this episode is, like, if you're listening and you're like, I did that, like, girl, so did we.
Yeah, it's,
like, that's the whole point of this. Like, everybody makes mistakes, and, like, all of us are just young, and, like, you're not going to get sued. Like, those big people, all they want is, they're just like, take it down, you know? So, like, if you have some up right now, and you're listening to this, that you think might be licensed, take them down.
Yeah.
Take, like, the, you know, you don't need to delete them. Just take them, like, make them unavailable right now. Get your licensing, and then come back and try again. But,
yes.
I feel like that's something that just, like, people don't really talk about, that you don't think about, because you think, oh, I made it, I can sell it. But it's not always that way.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Okay. Biggest engagement or biggest business mistake. Why can't I read? I'm literally
You're like skipping lines
today. Yeah, I just skip lines. Biggest business mistake. Joining an engagement group with local businesses. After I left, my engagement was awful and I lost motivation. Yeah.
We, I mean, we talk about this all the time. Everything you do in your business should be genuine and authentic, and that's not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's a huge difference between, like, a community group.
Yeah.
That, like, are, like, friends and like, you know, like you ask advice,
Yeah.
such as the podcast Facebook group.
May we direct you to the Check
to
Your
go-
Aesthetic community
yes.
Facebook group.
Also, Katie last episode said, well, I guess it's not last episode. Oh, are they not going to hear that until, they're not going to hear that for like a couple weeks. Guys, whoever's the 200th person, Katie said she would send them free stickers, so go join the Facebook group.
Also, all my stickers are off my site, so they're very specialty stickers. You can never order them again. Like, they're not available for purchase anyway.
Yeah. And I love how I'm just like giving Katie stickers away. But yeah, I think there's a big difference between that and like being just like friends with people, and then like, here's my post, go comment on it with like, and like it within 30 minutes. Like,
yeah. And I've heard of some that have like rules. No.
Yeah, nope.
No. Also, 1, that's bad for the algorithm. 2, that looks bad on you. 3, if you join one thinking that it's not that and it becomes that, just leave it.
Yeah, just leave.
Because clearly those people don't give a shit about you if they don't want to talk to you. Like, the thing is, if you create a community, those people are naturally going to want to comment on your stuff because they love you. That's what I've done. My friends comment on my stuff because they love me. I don't have to ask them to. I never ask anybody to comment on my stuff. Like, and again, this is another mistake that I have made. Like, we've all made, like, we've all made this, but definitely don't do that. So that is not good.
Agreed.
Okay. Next one. I make t-shirts, and one of the biggest mistakes I ever made was having a pop-up shop and making t-shirts people hadn't ordered yet. The pop-up shop was a Christmas shop, and I still have so many shirts left over. I think this can go either way.
I think the Christmas thing is like a big factor.
I agree.
Because I think, like, if it was just, like, a random thing, then, like, it's okay to have stock left over after a pop-up shop. But the fact that it's, but the fact that it's Christmas stuff makes it very difficult, obviously, to sell.
And I think the thing, or I think the thing, I think the thing with this is, like, there's a balance between you obviously, like, it's like you have to spend money to make money. Like, you have to invest in your business, and because if you had no shirts available, nobody would have even had the option to buy them. So I think it's about learning your numbers. Like, for me, it's taken me a while to learn, like, this is how many of this product will sell. And obviously that's why first launches are so scary, because like with restocks, you kind of have a feel like, oh, this sold out in 5 minutes. I need to order more than I did last time. But like, you're obviously going to have bestsellers and things that don't sell as well. So it's finding that balance of like, the first pop-up I ever did, my Birmingham mugs that I sold out in like 10 minutes of the pop-up. So next time I ordered way more and it was better. But then other things didn't sell, so then I didn't order them for next time. So I think no matter what, you're going to have to swallow some money. So don't listen to this and think like, oh, well, I shouldn't make stock from my pop-up.
Or I shouldn't do pop-ups or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's just about like knowing your products and knowing your customers. And pop-ups are different because you're reaching a completely different customer base.
Right, exactly. And you don't know how many people are going to be at that market.
Yeah, you don't know who they're targeting. You don't know if they're going to be adults, kids, people your age, if they're even going to be like your target demographic.
I think something that if you're going to order like a good amount, because it sounds like she ordered like a good amount and then had like leftover stock. I think if you're going to do that and order like more, just like Katie said, like if it's something that you already know has sold well in the past, then go ahead and order more.
Yeah.
But especially something like a Christmas thing or like something specific to a certain season. Or if like you're traveling and something, like you said, the Birmingham mugs, you're not going to sell Birmingham mugs in like Texas. So, you know, anything that's specific, you want to be like really sure of like how many people are going to purchase this item so that you don't end up with stuff left over.
Yeah. And I also think something that I did, like when those Birmingham mugs did sell out, I was like, shoot, you know, now I messed up. Like, but I let people give me their emails, and I got literally like, so I ended up selling 40 of those. I had 10 in stock. 30 people were on that list for me to order them. I ordered more that night. So like doing something like that to kind of make up for it. Or like directing people to your website would be a good option. But definitely,
you could also have like a QR code of your Instagram or your Etsy or your website or something so that they can bring it up right away.
Yes, but definitely don't. I think it's finding a balance of like investing in yourself.
Yeah, don't get like discouraged.
Yeah, you have to like take that leap. And also for the person who submitted this, like this doesn't mean that other things, it's going to happen with other things too. Like it, you know, I think the Christmas thing was a big factor. But yeah, I definitely understand that one. That's definitely tough.
I did want to also say that I just thought of another, like, mistake that I made was relying heavily on story answers, like story replies, saying, like, are you going to purchase this? Yes or no? And then, like, basically ordering the amount that people said yes. Like,
no.
People aren't going to follow, like, I hate to say it, but, like, people aren't going to follow through.
No, and I think it's more accurate to get a poll on, like, which one of these do you like better to decide which one you should sell, rather than, like, don't ever base it off the numbers. Because think about the way you scroll through Instagram polls. You vote on a ton of stuff. You're just sitting on your phone scrolling. You don't like register that, like, oh, that's going to come out and I'm going to buy it. Like, do that. Am I really going to buy it? Like, should I really answer yes? People just don't think like that. So.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And people might forget too. They might have the intention and then just, like, you don't get shown on their feed and then.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So next question, it's already almost 40 minutes. We might have to do a second episode and not have all of these because we still have a lot of questions. Okay. So one of my biggest business mistakes, one of my sweatshirts was selling super well, so well that it sold out fairly quickly. It was the first time that had ever happened. I saw that the inventory was getting low, but knew lots of people were still trying to buy it. I didn't want to lose those sales, so I didn't let the website show that they were sold out. People kept buying the sweatshirt, even though we didn't have any more, but I was confident I could get them made quickly and still have them shipped out at a reasonable time. Turns out my supplier had sold out of all of the sweatshirts in that color I used, and the company I partner with for screen printing was booked out for 2 weeks. Double whammy. I had to refund quite a few people that day. It's safe to say I never oversold an item, and after that, and never will. Worst day ever.
I have done this with pre-orders before. I'll do a pre-order, then my supplier will be out of stock of that. And usually people are patient. Whenever that happens, I always give them the option, like, you can wait or I can refund you. Like, I'll still get them whenever they're in stock. But pre-orders, only do them if it's something that you know you can get. Like, if it's so if you have a Cricut, that's another thing. You can sell stickers, like, made to order. That's the kind of thing you can sell before you have it made. But, like, if it's something you need to rely on somebody else for, not a good idea.
Yeah. That's another thing that I keep, I'm gonna have all my mistakes already answered before. Yeah. But one of my biggest mistakes was that I'm dealing with right now is that I got very into, because, like, I was selling stickers at, like, a fast enough pace that I didn't want to, like, make every single one when I got the sale. So I would print, like, a sheet of that specific sticker, so I'd have, like, multiples. But then I got, like, really printing happy and, like, spent, like, a good amount of time just, like, printing.
Yeah.
And, like, didn't have, like, the stock, like, I didn't have, like, the customer base for, like, how much I was printing, just because I got, like, printer happy. And yeah, now I have, like, it's really only in, like, specific stickers, specifically the ones that are long, because I was able to print, like, so many.
Yeah.
So then I would print, like, I'd print one sheet and I'd have literally, like, 32.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to read one more and then we'll share ours. Okay. So this is about a magazine. I'm not going to say what the magazine name is. When we put together our 2020 book, we didn't properly figure out all the ways we were going to distribute it before deciding how many to print. We assumed that we would be able to figure it out once we had the books. 2 weeks after the book was printed, California went into lockdown, which obviously we couldn't have known, and it led to us not being able to nail down the distribution the way we had imagined. We also briefly debated taking the year out of the title, but thought naming it blank 2020 would be good, because if it went well, we could come out with a book of all of our best content every year. In reality, we printed too many, should have had the sure set places that would sell the book before deciding on how many to print, and limited for how long we could sell it. Okay. They shouldn't have limited how long they could sell the title. Now it's midway through 2021 and we still have a storage unit full of books we can't sell. I think that is very similar to the Christmas situation, where you have boxed yourself in a little bit. And also, I think that's another important thing. Like, we don't run businesses that have, like, things we need to distribute. But like, this would be like, if you're on Fair, like a wholesale website, you don't need to make 1,000 things before you have wholesalers. You know what I mean? Like, you need to figure that out after. And I think something that I've learned throughout my business is like, people, not everyone, now some people are terrible, but most people are more patient than you think.
Yes, agreed.
And they know they're ordering from a small business, so.
Yeah, people for the most part have a lot of like grace with that.
Definitely.
But also I wouldn't bank on that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go into it and be like, oh, they're fine.
Absolutely.
They'll be, you know.
Yeah.
So 100%. I think it's about like showing like respect, but
yeah. Alexis, do you want to give, I'm going to narrow mine down to 1 for this episode because we'll definitely do this again. But do you want to give your biggest mistake?
Let me go back to the top where I had everything written down. Hold on. Okay. One mistake.
You don't have to do one. I mean, you can do more than one.
We're going to do it again, so I'll just say...
Yeah.
I'll say 1. My biggest mistake, I think, and if you guys have been listening to the podcast, you already pretty much, I feel like, know my answer. But just, like, not doing what I wanted to actually do and, like, feeling almost, like, peer pressured, but it, like, there was no pressure, but I felt, like, peer pressured into doing what everyone else was doing, because I think I felt weird, like, doing the complete opposite. And, yeah, that just, like, didn't end up working out for me. Yeah, and I just wish that I had been, like, a little bit more confident in myself and my abilities, because now I'm kind of having to, like, backtrack.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that one, too. Like, having no direction is not the best way to start. I think, like, it's hard because neither of us meant to start our businesses. It just kind of, like, sparked really quickly.
Exactly.
But definitely taking the time to plan and all that. And sort of going off of that, so I started to outsource, I guess, like, as I grew, and I think that I outsourced for the wrong things at the wrong times. So and like, this is like no shade to anybody, like, I loved everybody that I outsourced, but it was the wrong times for me to do that. So I outsourced a virtual assistant, which now I'm at the point where, like, that would probably help a lot because I'm working. But, like, at the time, what I needed was, like, a business coach or, like, a copywriter or somebody like that, like, to... Like, I think I started with the wrong things. Like, I needed to get my head in the right place before I was able to hire out somebody. And we talked about this in, I don't know if it's gone up yet, but we have an episode with a virtual assistant about how before you hire a virtual assistant. I think
that's going up next week.
Yeah, before you hire a virtual assistant, you should know what your needs are. And I didn't. She was just, like, organizing my emails and all that stuff, which was great, but I wasn't really getting, like, the value out of it that I needed, and I think I would have been
which wasn't her fault.
No, at all.
Like,
she was doing an amazing job at what she was doing, and I loved her, and I would work with her again, but I would have her do different things. You know, like, there was better. I was just so overwhelmed at the time. I was like, didn't know what I wanted, but my money would have been put to better use at that current time, hiring somebody like a business coach who I could talk to and could help me figure out this stuff to arrive at the conclusion that I have now a little bit earlier.
Right, totally.
But I think, like, outsourcing is really important, but it's important to do it kind of in the right order, because you have to know who you are as a business before you... Yeah,
you can't hire a virtual assistant and be like, who am I? Like, when you have a virtual... And this is a good plug for next week, because that was a really great episode, but I think that... you have to really know, like, going into having a virtual assistant, you have to know exactly what, like, objectives you want them to, like, have. And when you don't know that yourself, then that's not the time for you to have a virtual assistant.
Yeah, and, like, this could apply to a lot of different things. Like, this could apply to you in a different way where, like, you're not, like, maybe you're outsourcing hiring a graphic designer before you're before you're outsourcing your products or something like that. You know, like, it could just go in a lot of different directions. But, yeah, so definitely listen to the episode that's going out next week when you're listening to this. But yeah, that was my biggest mistake. It's just, I loved her, but I didn't need her at the time. And although she definitely helped me, I could have invested my money better. So, do we have random questions? You put something on your story, didn't you?
Yes. Hold on.
Did you get good ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got good ones. Okay, hold on.
Us not being prepared again.
Yeah, sorry guys. Haha. Oh my god, why can't I use Instagram? Okay, ooh, this is a good one. This is very random, but peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese?
Oh, grilled cheese. I don't like peanut butter that much.
You don't like peanut butter? I don't like peanut butter and jelly. I like grilled cheese, though.
I was talking to my roommate, and, like, it kind of depends on my mood. I would never eat, like, a spoonful of peanut butter. Like, I don't like just, like, peanut butter. And, like, I wouldn't put it in a smoothie. Like, if I was making something, I wouldn't make it with peanut butter, but then every once in a while, I want a peanut butter and jelly, and every once in a while, I want a Reese's.
Okay.
So, like, I don't like it, but I kind of do. But also, I started to like it more as I grew up. I used to hate it. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't like peanut butter and jelly because I don't know, like a soft sandwich is, like, gross to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. It's just, like, weird.
Yeah.
But I really love peanut butter smoothies. Those are good. Like a peanut butter and banana smoothie. Okay.
The way you shat on me, interesting. That's really interesting. About me not liking peanut butter? Jesus.
Yeah, I don't even like peanut butter that much. I don't know why I like
You just wanted to shit on me.
Yeah. I saw the opportunity and I had to go for it.
God.
Okay. Oh, this is an interesting question. If you could change lives with someone else for a day, who would it be and why?
You.
Me? Ugh. Ew.
Well, I want to, like one of my friends or something. Actually, that's a lame answer. That was just my immediate thought, because, like, I want to know what other people think about me. But that's something to discuss with my therapist. Do you know what? It would probably be, like, somebody who lives in Greece. I don't know who. Like, an influencer in Greece or something. I don't know. Somebody who's rich.
You know what? I don't know if this is, like, applicable. I don't know if this is allowed to answer, but my grandma, when she lived in Zurich, when she was my age.
That's dope.
Because, like, I love Zurich. I mean, I literally have a Zurich tattoo, but I love Zurich so much, and I love my grandma so much, and she had such a, like, cool life before she had my aunt and my mom, and, like, I would want to, like, see what she, like, experienced, because I feel like she just was, like, so cool.
It's a sweet answer. I said Alexis, and then I said a Greek person. Can you tell that we didn't know the questions before? Anyway, all right, well, thank you guys for listening. Be sure to leave us a rating and review on wherever you listen to your podcasts, and subscribe to keep up with our weekly episodes.
Then follow us on our Instagram account, Check Your Aesthetic Podcast, our TikTok, which is Check Your Aesthetic Podcast.
It's just Check Your Aesthetic.
Just check your aesthetic. And then and then our personal accounts, Katie Creative Co. on AlexisAdams.co, and we will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Go listen to the next episode next week because it was a really good one.
Yes, definitely do. Bye. Love y'all. Bye.